Hello everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV. I'm Tarryn the Traveling Trainer of GoTarryn Personal Training here in the greater Atlanta area. It's episode 537, and it's time for yet again another new guest right here on GoTarryn TV. That's right, we got a newbie right here also who's in the greater Atlanta area, Ms. Stefanie Torres. I'm going to tell you about Stefanie in just a few seconds before I get to interviewing her. First and foremost, please make sure that whatever you do to subscribe to my YouTube channel and make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and share it on your social media, and that way other people can also check out GoTarryn TV and be notified on YouTube when these video blogs are published. Now, I'm going to be talking to Stefanie here in just a few moments. We're going to be talking to her and asking about her weight loss and fitness journey. And for the folks who saw a couple of weeks ago, we had a video blog with Mr. Nathan J. Nowak. That's who Nathan's referred to us. That's right. Stefanie works with Nathan right here in Atlanta, so we're going to name drop him a lot. And we're going to definitely talk to her and find out how it worked, how she was able to lose all the weight. We're going to check out some of her before and after pictures and her own personal testimonials. Make sure you don't go away. Remember, with GoTarryn Personal Training, it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. We'll be right back with the interview with Stefanie, folks. Okay, folks, we're back, and as you can see, side by side here, welcoming on episode 537 for the very first time, Ms. Stefanie Torres, also here in the greater Atlanta area. Stefanie, how are you doing out there?
I'm great, Tarryn. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Great, thank you. Pleasure's all ours. Thanks for being on here. For the folks who watched a couple of weeks ago, one of the episodes previously, we had Nathan J. Nowak here, who's also in Atlanta. And thanks to him and the power of Facebook, we're here now able to connect and get Stefanie on here, who's going to tell us about her weight loss and fitness journey, how she ended up here. But before we jump into that, Stefanie, let me first and foremost ask, because this is the first time we've talked and meeting in person. I just found out a few seconds before we went recording, moved up here from West Palm Beach, Florida. Take us back, please, for the folks who are watching, and just tell us a little bit about yourself, please, where you grew up, and then how you eventually ended up in the greater Atlanta area, please.
Okay. Yeah, I was born in Bronx, New York.
Okay.
Moved when I was 6 months old, so I don't really remember that at all. We moved to San Antonio, Texas. Yeah.
Okay.
Moved to San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
And I started elementary school in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, okay.
So since I think until 2011 is when I was until from elementary school to about 2011 is when I was in Florida.
Cool. Oh, okay.
So basically raised, I guess, in Florida, if you want to say. I don't really know.
For most of your life, then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
But you moved around a lot. Now, what about your family? Do you still have family up in New York, Texas, or in Florida, I assume?
I have them all over. Yes, I believe I still have some family in Texas. Most of my family lives in New York, and
Okay.
I have quite a few family members in Florida still.
Excellent. Do you get a chance to visit very often?
Yes, we were there just a couple months ago.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
Just to kind of visit and just to see, because I hadn't been there in over a year since I moved to Atlanta. So I went back just to kind of say, hi, everyone, I'm doing good.
That's great. Well, if they're watching, then we got to say hi to them. Do they ever get an opportunity to come to Atlanta and visit you here?
My mom and dad are going to be coming for Thanksgiving.
Perfect. I bet you're looking forward to that. That'll be nice.
Yeah. Usually every year my mom hosts Thanksgiving, so everybody comes to her house. So this year she gets a break from all of that, and she gets to come up and spend time with us here.
Oh, that's very nice of you to do that. That's pleasant. I'm sure she'll enjoy that. That's great.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you and I met Stefanie because, again, like I said, I interviewed Nathan a few weeks ago. And tell us about Nathan, how you guys met up, and what you do with him for a minute, please.
Well, with Nathan, we met through a mutual friend that is a part of a nutritional company that we both work for. We met in person back in 2014, August 2014 in Dallas.
Oh,
we
cool.
were there for a convention.
Okay.
And we had talked on the phone a couple of times because he was kind of guiding me with some nutrition tips and stuff like that. And I was on my way. I was already in kind of the middle of my weight loss journey at that point.
Okay.
I found myself just wanting to really, I was at a point in my life where I knew that things had to change for myself. And I had to take control because I was the only one that can do it.
Right.
And it just really took a lot of courage and a lot of strength for me to go through. I went through a very big transition in my life at that point, and it was kind of all about focusing on myself, because I was always taking care of others, focusing on other people, and it was time for me to really take control and get myself healthy and feeling better. So when we met, I was already in that transition of working out and staying at around a size 10, which I believe that I showed you those pictures just to kind of show you my transition. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like I was at the gym all the time, busting my butt, and I was still at that level.
Okay.
So I couldn't, that plateau, that was the plateau I was at. I couldn't break that.
Right.
Nathan helped me. We had talked over the phone a few times before we met in person, and kind of helped me, figure out what I was eating and kind of tweaked my nutrition, and things started to change rapidly for me once I did those little tweaks. Then, when we met, it wasn't really, we were friends.
Uh-huh.
We were friends for a few months, so it wasn't like a love at first sight type situation. It was just that we were friends and we kind of just hit it off. And then he would travel back and forth to West Palm Beach to come down and work with one of our friends. And that's pretty much how we met. And then, I'm sorry, what was you said the other question?
Yeah, no, that's good. And then, Stefanie, previously to that, when did the fitness journey begin exactly, and how did it happen? Did something just click and the light bulb came on, or what had happened as a catalyst, I guess you could say?
I was about 50 pounds overweight.
Okay.
So I was getting to a point, I would fluctuate. I did a lot of fad diets, and I didn't really understand fitness and nutrition. I didn't really get it.
Right.
And I'm still learning to this day. But back then I was 190 pounds at my heaviest.
That was your heaviest, 109. That was going to be my next question. Okay.
Yeah, that was my heaviest, is 190 pounds. And I was even teetering even more, getting closer, to even 200 pounds at times, just depending on where I was.
Uh-huh.
And just a lot of different things happened in my life to kind of wake me up. I felt like a lot of not to get into too much detail, but there was just a lot of darkness happening, a lot of transition, and it was time for me to do something. Unfortunately, a lot of people have to hit rock bottom to realize that, oh my God, it shakes you, and it's like, well, what have I been doing? It's time for me to take control and do my own thing. Mm-hmm. So that's really what started it. I was living down in South Florida, and I moved up to West Palm Beach, South Florida, like Fort Lauderdale, Miami area.
Yep.
And that's when it all started for me. I really wanted to take up something different. I wanted to do something different. I was so used to just getting up in the morning, going to work, going home, getting up in the morning, so it was just a very same routine over and over again. And I wanted to try something different. I wanted to start meeting other people and seeing what else was out there for me. And so I took up Muay Thai, which is kickboxing with elbows and knees, as you know.
Certainly.
And a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And through that is where I kind of found found myself figuring out, okay, this is what I want to do. Like, I just want to keep going. I want to keep just doing things. And just by doing that 4 or 5 times a week, that's how I started noticing my weight coming off. And then that's when my trainer the instructor there at the time is the one who knew the mutual friend who knew Nathan. So it's kind of like, if it wasn't for that decision going and making, or taking the classes, I would have never met Nathan.
Mm-hmm. That's excellent, Stefanie. Now, let me ask you this, because I'm going to ask a lot of questions focusing on the weight and loss and the challenges and barriers. But if someone out there, let's say a lady is close to 200 pounds watching, and she's just frustrated and doesn't know where to start, what is a good beginning point that you can suggest, or some advice for that person who might be watching that doesn't know anything about fitness or nutrition? What's step number 1 for that person if they're watching that you would advise that helped you?
Really just getting active. Mm-hmm. I was not very active. And then of course, really focusing on what you're eating. Over the years, I've learned about different things, and just as far as like the food, the intake that, what nutrients and things like that. And as we get older, we don't absorb certain nutrients through food, so supplementation is important. So all of those kind of things I've learned later. Mm-hmm. But, I think that just concentrating on being as active as possible and eating, your what Nathan and I call the rule of three, which is a starchy carb, a fibrous carb, and a lean protein. Mm-hmm. And of course, following, when I first started doing everything, I just kind of eyeballed, what I'm supposed to have. So, mm-hmm. And I didn't overeat. I stopped eating out altogether.
Good.
Everybody thinks going to Chick-fil-A or going to, oh, but I had a salad, or but I, it's all about cooking your meals at home.
True.
So once I made that decision that I was not going to eat out anymore, I cut off the soda. I cut off everything that I could think of that had sugar. I cut that out. And I just focused on eating what was right for me, which was, the vegetables, the starchy carbs, and the really lean, plain protein. I didn't really, and that was the one I think a lot of people overseason their food. I kind of trained myself to just not have, just kind of be plain Jane for the mm-hmm. first months until I started learning about, okay, well, I can cook with other things and not oversaturate my food. So I think with, people starting out, it's just really just getting active and doing more, whether it's, walking for 30 minutes or walking for an hour. I mean, that's all I would do in the beginning, because I wanted to run. That was my goal.
Good.
And running, I couldn't run that long.
Sure.
So because I'm heavy and all the, and so once I started getting, active and the pounds started shedding, then I found that running was a lot easier for me. Mm-hmm. So that was my initial goal. But just getting active, just doing something, whether it's a class or, a spin class, aerobics class, whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm. That's good, Stefanie. And what about, what are some of the challenges and hardest obstacles that you could think of, if there are any, that were just really tough that you had a hard time overcoming, and almost, let's say, couldn't overcome it and maybe thought about giving up? Did that ever enter your mind at all during this whole journey?
During it, no.
Good.
It didn't. It really didn't. And I can say the reason why is because I wanted it so bad. Mm-hmm. I was tired of feeling just like the only word I could come up is like frump girl. I just felt I didn't feel good on the outside. Uh-huh. And so not feeling good on the outside, it really made me feel like blah on the inside.
Sure.
It just was really just not, it didn't make me feel good at all. And once I started feeling better, it was a high. It was like, I have to keep going because this is only going to get better. So people don't understand how good feels mm-hmm. until they feel it. And then they know that they don't ever want to turn back. It's just it's an amazing feeling. Mm-hmm. So no, I didn't, I kept fighting, and I still do to this day, because this is my lifestyle.
Yeah, like you just said, it's a key word, lifestyle, and it's not temporary, and it's something that I guess I always tell my clients too, you're going to be doing it the rest of your life. And that's very well said. What about, Stefanie, tell us about some of the hobbies and activities. Like, for example, you said running. How much running are you getting in nowadays, and what do you do to keep busy in physical activity during the week? What does a typical week look like for yourself?
Oh, it's crazy. You would think, it really is. You would think that I was training to race in a triathlon or an Ironman. It's ridiculous how much training I do, but I enjoy it. That's why I do it. I try to run at least 1 to 2 times a week. One of those days is usually a shorter distance. Okay. Maybe like 3-4 miles. Longer distance, I mean, for me, is 7 miles.
That's a lot. That's
yeah,
very
that
long.
is a lot.
That is, yeah, that's excellent.
For me especially.
Wow.
So that's usually, I try to do, like just yesterday we went out to the Silver Comet and I ran for an hour, and it was a slower run. So it was about a little over 5 miles for me. It was a little hard yesterday. And those days, will happen. But, so yeah, I usually try to run at least twice a week. Any days in between, I do a lot of cross training. So I'll do whether it's kettlebell class, as you know that Nathan, teaches at Georgia Power. So I usually just tag along with him, and I talk to people. I try to talk to them about, because they ask me, they'll ask about nutrition, and I try to coach them with that, and we do the same thing. So we kind of like tag team, and do stuff like that with the I guess you can say the clients that he sees there. And so there is spin class, there's kettlebells, there's body bars. I just now started in the last month doing Olympic lifting. Nothing too crazy, but I think the most I've been able to lift is about 135 pounds.
That's a lot of weight too. That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's my thing now. Is my goal now is to lean out more. Like I want to. There's certain things that we all look at ourselves and we're like, oh, we can improve this, we can improve that. So the weight's down and I'm building more muscle, but I want more. A bit more muscle.
That's excellent.
So that's about, anywhere from 4 to 5 times a week I'm working out, but sometimes I'll do 2 or 3 times a day. Mm-hmm. Not every day, but maybe twice a week, if that.
That's awesome. And the cool thing is you and Nathan can keep each other accountable because you're like each other's trainer right there too. So
yeah.
That's nice. That's fantastic. So getting back to Nathan here for a second, what exactly, you had mentioned, you said you help with some of the clientele. What else day-to-day operations-wise do you do with Nathan and the company business, essentially?
Well, we brainstorm a lot. Okay. I tend to, I like to brainstorm. I like to verbally brainstorm. So I'll just kind of just start talking things out if he's working on a particular page, mm-hmm. or as you know, this program that we just relaunched. There's a lot of kind of, I would picture a boardroom, if we had a boardroom with a big table, like it was just the two of us kind of just going back and forth and throwing ideas up there. And we have dry erase boards that we're writing all kinds of things and writing ideas down and the format, and just a lot of talking and bouncing things off each other. Ideas, and sometimes we'll set up our camera equipment and we'll just have him start talking and just film him doing that. And usually that's what I'm doing, is I'm usually like behind the camera, I'm taking the photos, I'm kind of giving him ideas for memes, which I don't know, people say memes. I give him ideas. I don't know if you've got to taken a look at his memes that he has on his Instagram. It's pretty funny. He comes up with a lot of, or we'll be talking about something and we're like, oh, we can tie this into this. Or so we tend to talk about so many things, but my main job is to kind of keep him focused on the task, because there's so much going on, is that I'll just say, okay, well, we'll deal with that and I'll write that down and we'll come back to that. So let's talk. So I'm really kind of like the organizer of all of, kind of trying to catch his ideas and kind of file the ones that need to be filed away for a little bit, and then work at come to the forefront with what's at the task at hand. And then we go back and then talk about the next thing. It's always the next thing.
Oh, that is really cool. And it sounds like you wear a lot of hats. You're almost like a manager, basically, in a lot of different roles there. What do some of the goals entail, Stefanie, for both you and Nathan, additionally, not only business-wise, but for yourself in the next several years? What do you guys like to see yourself getting to some point at?
Well, we really want to get out there. We want to help people. That's what Nathan and I, we have other things in common, but the one that I can say that we have the most is that seeing that especially what I've gone through with my journey, I want to help people. I want to help people feel that you can do it. You can do it with the support, with and without support. It's harder without support, but you can do it. And I think that we want to reach the masses. We want to reach everyone and tell them, this is, we know what to do. Just listen. Like, that's really what we want, is just to get ourselves out there. We want to, I'm not necessarily one that likes to get out in front of crowds. So he's really the face of it all. And I'm like I told you, I'm more of the behind the scenes kind of, making sure things are going the way they should. But but I mean, who knows? Maybe that might change. That might change where I'll join him in on something, or, but that's really what we want to do. And we really want to move to Hawaii.
He had told me, yeah, about the annual trips to Hawaii too.
Yes.
I love Hawaii too. I mean, that's where I went for my honeymoon, and I've been there a couple times myself. But we'd stayed at the Big Island in Kona, and I think that's what he mentioned. Nathan was referring that that's your all's favorite spot too. So I could definitely understand why you'd want to move there. It is paradise for sure.
Yes. Yes, and I had only been once for the first time last year, and I was sold. I'm like, let's do this. I don't want to go back. We can work from here. But that's the ultimate goal. Is we want to work, which we do now. We do a lot of at-home work, so we set our schedules, and we can pretty much do whatever we want. But we really want things to be more automated, and so that we can do absolutely anything. We can travel, anywhere, and still be able to reach people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me tell you, Stefanie, the thing that I find so impressive about both you and Nathan, I think I mentioned this to him too, is that you guys are already ahead of the curve. I mean, you're like basically 5 years in the future from me with the way that you have all your programs set, because my favorite part of y'all's website is the programs that you offer. And they're very concise and clear, and they offer something for everybody, and also the fact that you do the online coaching. That's something personally that I'm trying to get myself to develop. And so all the more reason why I definitely want to meet y'all in person and talk and sit down and have lunch together, because there's a lot of great ideas I think we can, hopefully mutually on my end too, to give back as well that's worked for me. But you really do have an awesome program going. Is there a certain favorite program that you have yourself that you like out of all of them that you offer?
Yes, I would have to say it's the same one that you and Nathan spoke about before, which is the relaunch, the 24-day rapid fat loss system.
Yep.
It's absolutely amazing. The results that we're getting, I mean, I wish that people, it's like we said before, it's like, we know what you need to do. Just listen. If you can just do this, you can. Yep. There's really no excuse. Everybody, if you choose, it's a choice. It really is a choice. If you want to choose to be fit, or to, just to not even be fit, just to lose some weight, just so you can start feeling better. We have that choice. And, I just pray that a lot of people make better choices for themselves. But I want to be that option. Nathan and I want to be that option for people.
Stefanie, that's a really good point, because again, the big part of it is, like you said, the good news is everybody has the choice and the control to do it. I firmly believe that, like you said, it is our choice. It's their choice, the clients watching. And what's really cool is that they have accessibility to people like you and Nathan, and like other great fitness professionals out there too that offer this. A lot of it's just getting the product and service out there so that they know, because a lot of times there's so many people that are lost and it's overwhelming. They don't know where to begin, and they don't know about, about y'all and other great fitness professionals, not only here in Atlanta but elsewhere as well. So I think you guys are doing a wonderful job getting the message, getting the word out there. And again, just I like the relaunch idea, because it does offer a total comprehensive, total package, I think is the word that I used to Nathan last time. But that's awesome. I mean, that fat loss program, it covers everything, and I would highly encourage anybody watching to check that out and go to the website for sure. But I'll tell you what, that's a good segue. How about let's plug the website for the people watching. Let's tell the folks, what is Nathan J. Nowak's website? It's pretty easy to remember.
Oh, yeah, it's nathanjnowak.com.
There you go. Excellent. And how about for yourself, Stefanie? If anybody's watching and let's say that they want more questions answered that we didn't talk about and they want to reach you directly, what's the best ways to contact you if they want to get in touch with you specifically, Stefanie?
They can reach me at Stefanie, and it's Stefanie. I know a lot of people spell it with a PH, but it's Stefanie with an F, at trinitybody.com.
Perfect. Excellent. That's good. And we'll have it on the screen when we fade to black for the folks, just in case. Grab a pen and paper. That way they can take it down one more time. But I have thoroughly enjoyed this interview with you, Stefanie. This is great. It's flown by. And I'll tell you what, again, since we live so close, I live within walking distance to Silver Comet Trail. So next time y'all go out there, maybe we can go for a run together or a bike ride, or get out there and enjoy this beautiful, nice Indian summer, so to speak, that we're having here in Atlanta. Yeah. That'll be a lot of fun. That'll be great. Yeah, let's do that for sure. Let's set up a time. I've truly enjoyed this, and let's have you back on as well too in the very near future, so we could see how you're continued. Because again, like we said, you're not finishing here. You have goals, like you said, that you're still working on, namely specifically like the Olympic lifting. You can tell us how that's going. So let's definitely have you back on, Stefanie, and see how your progress is just continuing to improve. I'm very impressed, and again, I'm just got to commend you on all the wonderful work you both have done. Just keep it up.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Well, again, Stefanie, my pleasure. Thank you again for coming on. Let's have you back on here soon, and I look forward to meeting you both in person so I can extend my hand and shake your hand in person.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tarryn.
Thank you, Stefanie. All right, folks, as we fade to black, here comes Stefanie's contact information on the screen one more time. We'll see you, Stefanie.
Bye. Thank you, Tarryn.
Thank you.